Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Savasan Hai. In this particular lecture, I am going to take you through the general basic concept of the fast formula. Now this particular video is helpful for those students, those who are or professional, those who are purely new to the payroll, who doesn't know how to write the fast formula, what are the basic concept of the fast formula, and for others also, those who are able to modify the fast formula, but when it comes to write from the scratch, like I want to write my own fast formula, they find it little bit of difficulty. Now in this I am breaking up this chapter into three portion: part 1, part 2 and part 3, because this is going to be a lengthy, so I don't want to have a lengthy video. Under the part 1, what I will do, I will be giving you the basic concepts which I am going to do it in today's class. In part 2, what we will do, we will be going to write a simple fast formula and we'll see the results, that how the results are getting processed. In third, what we will do, we will write a simple formula and write to debug it, like sometime we want to debug the fast formula. In addition to this, can we use any of the AI tool to write this formula? So let's begin this particular topic. I will suggest you understand it properly and do the practice along with me. So if you have an environment, you can do the practice, and then if you have any feedback or any comment, or if you have any questions or queries, you can put into the comment sections. So let's start and understanding the basic concepts. So here what I am doing it, there is a in e-business, those who are having a background of e-business, we do not have an option of package or procedures. Okay, so we cannot write package or procedures, but there is an alternate way of using it. So let us first understand the syntax of writing the formula. Yeah, so what normally, I'll just give an introduction about the syntax of the fast formula. Normally, what exactly it looks like. So first of all, we will be learning about the syntax. Okay, that what it should be having it. So one is the assignment. Now assignment is not the assignment which we have learned as a part of the employee assignment, whether what's a job. No, it's not related to it. It is related to the formula that we are learning about the formula. What are those assignments? So for example, if I'm writing C is equal to A plus B. Okay, so when I'm writing C is equal to A plus B, over here when we are assigning something, what I am assigning, I am assigning the value of A and B as a part of C. So this statement, wherever you see this particular statement, it means that this is known as my assignment status. Okay, or the assignment statement. Okay, if I want to make it more little bit clear, then I will call this as an assignment statement. What assignment statement is this? That whatever the value I am capturing it can be stored in some value. Now assignment status can be differed. For example, I can put it C is equal to A plus B. Okay, A plus B divided by maybe D. Again, this is what assignment status. Why? Because I am assigning some value, whatever the calculation I am doing it over here, I am assigning it to the C. Other thing that we have to be understand as a part of the fast formula is return statement. Okay, what is return statement? Return statement is something that we are going to return, and we had seen it like when we were writing of the element result. We have seen the processing element, then we see that formula always do the return, so it always come with return. So for example, if I am returning, say for example C, or if I am returning the value, so what is this? This is my return statement. So, and I mentioned it that in a fast formula it can have a more than one return statement. Okay, whatever the return statement are there, we can return multiple statement. How it going to be get control? It's going to be get control as a part of my element processing unit. Okay, when we are talking about the element processing rule, then it is going to be get control that what value the formula is returning, where we have to pass this value as a part of my result. Clear? So these are the two things which we have to keep in our mind. Third thing we have to keep in our mind are the variables. Like in any other language, we are having a variable. What are the variables? Variables are something. See, when I'm writing a coding or when I'm writing a formula, we required certain values, okay, to hold. Like for example, if you see it over here, a, b, d, what are these? These are my variables. Why it called variables? Because it varies in an way that it can be captured some value. So for example, if I am writing say simple mathematics, if I am writing say c is equal to a plus b, okay, so this is what I write the formula. Now here what I can say, c is equal to c divided by 2. Now again what happened, c is my variable, I am holding the value of a variable plus b variable. Then what I did, I put c is equal to c plus 2. So why it call as a variables? Because it's a part of my syntax. I need to use it because otherwise I cannot able to hold that value. And I mentioned it that these value we need to pass it to our hardware. So those variables hold certain value. We can hold it for some calculation purpose. Later on we can able to use it, we can release it, we can again feed it. So it is some placeholder, like I want to capture something and I want you to hold certain things, correct? Say for example, if I'm going to the supermarket and I'm carrying a baggage, it is too heavy for me, I want to give it to some, maybe to my brother or my sister to hold it. So that's are known as a variable. So three things that we understand about the assignment status, return statement and the variables. Fourth thing that we have to understand about the input values, and we have very well learn about it, where input values are coming from my element definition. So when I am writing the element definition, when we create it, we create the multiple input values. So as a part of the element definition, what we have learned, when we created the incentive allowance element, it created the amount, it created the periodicity, it created the multiple other inputs values. One of the inputs was pay value. Pay value is also considered as an input value. And when we define the overtime, what we did, we create another input value of our own, of normal overtime or holiday overtime, correct? So those are known as my input values, okay? So this is known as my one thing we have known about the input values. Then something we should know about the formula is about the expression. Now what is expression? See this, c is equal to a plus b divided by d, or c is equal to a plus b. So which means a expression, a mathematical expression or the logical expression which I am writing it in my formula is known as my expression. So for example, if I say c is equal to a plus b, okay, a plus b divided by 2 plus something, if I put it say I plus j, whatever I am putting it, so this is known as my complete statement, is known as my expression. So this is the another thing that we should know about it. Another thing we should know about the formula is about the conditions, okay? Conditions is something that we should be knowing. What is condition? Say for example, if I am doing some comparison, okay, so for example, if a is greater than b, then do perform things, or if b is equal to c, then perform certain things, correct? So these are known as my condition. Say for example, there is a training allowance is there. For example, it's a training allowance is there. Now training allowance will be given to the employees, those who are grade A or grade B or grade C. Okay, so what I will see, if employee grade, okay, if employee grade in or employee grade is equal to, say for example, A1, okay, A1, then what? Then training allowance, what training allowance will be? Allowance may be 200 or whatever, 2000. Or if employee grade is equal to A2, then my training allowance is something different. So what I am writing this over here, what I am writing a conditions, okay? Now here I can write some more condition. Now if employee grade is equal to A1, then training allowance is equal to this, and if employee is equal to this one, training allowance say 3000, else I can say 1000. So what I have written it over here. So these, whatever you have seen it, this is known as my statement, okay? So these are known as my conditions. So I can write a condition in a fast formula, okay? I can write a condition in a fast formula. And other thing that we should be knowing about it is something called as a comment, okay? Something known as a comment. So comment is something, say for example, if I'm writing a code and I want to put it something that this changes is due to policy change, okay? I want to make it if for example, if I do some changes in my fast formula and tomorrow if somebody is reading it, why, what, and I don't want to read that comments by the parser. Normally what happens is that whatever I am writing it, okay, whenever I am writing any of the language, what language, the syntax will be get read by the parser. If my syntax is incorrect, system will not compile it. Compile means it will see whether my formula is written in the proper format or not. If the formula is not written in the proper format, then you remember when I click on the compile, so we normally do the compilation. Compilation means that all my syntax are correct, but these comments I don't want to read by my fast formula, whatever I'm writing it. So when I'm writing a comment, I normally start with the comment with the backslash star and then the star and the backslash. So whatever I'm writing under these two, okay, under these two, system will consider, yes, this is my comment, so ignore it, completely ignore it. Okay, so this is something known as my comment section part. Okay, now this is something about the formula that I am writing it. Clear? Now there are few things that are useful for me to understand. Okay, now this understanding, now I take little bit, like I am moving into next stage. Okay, now this is something very easy and everyone can understand. This is just a simple introduction to the formula. Now there are certain things which we should be knowing it properly. What is that part is? Now that is something, the statement or understanding it, and which is used to write a logic. If your concepts are clear but you don't know how to execute it, it will become difficult to write a formula. Okay, syntax, I will explain it to you. I will show you the example also. We can use any of the AI tool. Nowadays AI tool help us, but it will not go a precise value. Something we have to be little bit of our common sense as well, because we cannot depend on it. I can write any Python language using the ChatGPT, it will deliver it to me, but I should know the syntax. Okay, so similarly there are few things that we have to remember it when we are learning about the formula part. Is that, see, formula, normally what happens is that, say for example, if I want to calculate the overtime, okay, if I will take this example because this will give me a little bit of variation and very easy also. So what is the logic, or what is the business logic in calculation of the overtime? Is that company says, okay, what is the business logic? Company says that employee, those who are working normal hours, okay, they will be getting paid based on the, say, 100 AED or 100 INR or 100 US dollar. Okay, so my rate for employee, those who are working on normal hours, the rate will be defined as 100 hours. Employee, those who are working, okay, holiday hours, okay, holiday in the sense maybe I am working on Saturday and Sunday, okay, then my paid rate will be, say, 200. Correct. So this is what, so if I am, say for example, if I work say for example 10 hours, then how much I will be get the overtime, which I will be getting, because I straightforward written it 10 into 100. Correct. And when I work, say for example 5 hours during the holiday hours, then my rate will be 5 into 200. Why? Because this is the rate I am defining it. So what is the total? So total will be this plus this. Correct. So this is the simple calculation. Now when we write this type of logic in our fast formula, how will I able to translate it? So first of all, we should understand that from where this normal hours are going to come. Okay, from where this normal hours should be come. So remember, when we are defining or designing the element, the easiest way is that an employee or the payroll administrator should enter these hours. Okay, so what we did when we were creating the element, we asked that fine, create the input values. Okay, create the input values of the type holiday hours. Correct, holiday hours, and another input value is of the type normal hours. Okay, so this is what I did. We created the two input values. So this is very much clear. Now in the formula we can use the input values. Fine, this is clear. Now what I decided, that rate should be 100 and rate should be 200. Now for learning purpose, what we can do it, we can use this value, we can hard code it. When I say hard code it, I can use this value as is. Or what we can do, we can create a lookup. There we can store this value 100 and 200, or there is something called UDD also. I will teach you about the UDD part as well. What is UDD? It is my user defined table. Why in user defined table? Because I can call that values in my fast formula. So I can store this rate 100 into 200 into my part of the system, correct? Or what, there are certain organizations are there which says that rate will be calculated based on your basic salary. Okay, basic salary. So how you want to calculate it? Say so it will be going to calculate it based on the 30 days into 8 days. So for example, if I am if my basic salary, say for example, is say 10,000, okay, so what will be my per day rate? I will be taking the standard of 30 days, correct? And what is my per hour rate? Per hour rate will be how much? Suppose if my days is of 8 hours, then per hour rate is 41, correct? Or I can call this as a 42. Now if some person basic salary is 20,000, correct, then my rate will differ. Some other person basic salary is 30,000, then my rate will be different. So correct. So based on the basic salary, my rate is going to be get defined. Now from where I will get this basic salary? So I should know from where I can able to capture it. Okay, I will explain it to you how we can able to get it. We will do one exercise to bring the basic salary or any other value, but starting it, we will take a simple example. So now what we will do, we need to write a formula. We need to write a fast formula where I need to capture these two values. So these two are coming from the input values. So when we are taking the value, now whether end user enter. Now for example, maybe employee works 10 hours for normal hours, okay, maybe 10 hours for normal hours, but so this is say for example month of July, and this is say for the month of August. Say for example, if person is working 10 hours for the month of July, but in the month of August he just worked 12 hours, only the normal hours, but as a part of the holiday hours he did not work. So what happened? I will be keeping that value as a blank, correct? So when I am passing any value blank to my fast formula, system will get confused. System will not understand that what exactly I am writing. So when I am writing something in my fast formula, I need to default it. Okay, if any one of you have a simple little bit of knowledge of C++, Python, Java, whatever, we initialize the variable. Okay, what we mean by the initialize the variable, that we give some default value, okay, which means that if I am not passing anything, then I will default it. So if I want to default the normal hours or something, I will use the syntax default for normal underscore hour is 0. Now what is the statement? This statement is telling me that something normal hour is there. I did not mention it in my fast formula. What is normal hour? I just mentioned it that default for normal hour is 0. And what is another thing is default for holiday hour. So I will change this. Holiday hours is 0. Now what happened? If my value is blank, okay, if this scenario is coming, then what will be the value for the holiday hour? By default it will be what? 0, correct? So if end user enter or not enter, we should not depend on the tendency of the end user. What we will do it, we will default it. So this is one of the statement which we we always use while we are starting our fast formula. Now another strong part we should be knowing. Now here I am just clearing your concept. Okay, here I gave you the example and we will do this exercise. Here I am just clearing your concept that what are the tools, what are the things I required for writing a formula. Another thing is important part is my database items. Okay. Now what are these database items are there? Now in a layman term, okay, whatever I am storing in my backend or in my database, those are known as database item. Okay. Now what does it mean? It means that whatever I am storing will be stored in a database. By default, in general human tendency, yes, but it is not like that. Okay. Sorry. Say for example, when I am creating a job, okay. Sorry. When I am creating a job, so I am storing a job name. Where it is going? it is going as a part of my database item. Yes, it is going as a part of my database item. Position name, yes, it is going as a part of my database item. Grade, yes, it is going as a part of my database item. Now from where I will get this list, I will show you from where you normally get that list. Now another question comes, can I create my own custom database item? Partially yes, partially no. Why yes and why no? Because this is controlled by Oracle. We do not have right to create our own database item. But why partially yes? Because if you remember it, when we were creating the elements, okay, we had seen there is a property called of inputs. You remember it on the right hand side, required, okay, user enterable, enter user entry, okay, and then there was a one more property was the database item. What does it mean? That when I'm creating any of the element and I decide that this input value I need to create as a database item, then I will select yes or no. You know, the flag was there. So yes, when I'm creating an element for that input, any of the input value, I can choose it. So when I'm choosing it, it means the system is going to be get store that value in my database item. So for example, here I want a basic salary. When I'm creating a basic salary, under the basic salary amount, I will make this as a database item. So when this amount is my database item, I can call this in my fast formula. Okay. So these are the basics of the fast formula. Now I will show you how we can able to write it or what are the things are there. So just a second. So I will conclude the part 1 here only, and I will upload another video with part 2 where I will show you the how to write a simple fast formula. The example which I had just explained to you of the overtime. So we will take that particular example and try to write it as a part of our Oracle Fusion fast formula. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are coming first time to this channel, please like and subscribe it and share it those who want to learn about the Oracle payroll. Thank you very much.